Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I saw this video that Daniel put up, and I am quite ashamed that we let this happen. You know, Daniel, keep doing the work that you're doing. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless you and increase you. Ameen, ameen, ameen. Let's get to the video.
Israel is working very hard to liberalize and secularize the next generation of Muslims. Shockingly, Zionists have already infiltrated Muslim countries in order to manipulate their Islamic curriculum. An Israeli-based group ironically called the Institute for Monitoring Peace and Cultural Tolerance in School Education, IMPACT for short, has attacked school curricula in various Muslim countries to promote disbelief and deviance, while also undermining traditional Islamic teachings under the guise of establishing peace. Shockingly, some Muslim governments are actually allowing IMPACT to edit their textbooks. According to Marcus Sheff, IMPACT's chief executive, Saudi Arabia, for example, has, quote, demonstrated a clear institutional effort to make Islamic content more moderate. It goes without saying that letting Zionists educate Muslim children on Islam is a recipe for disaster. So what did IMPACT manage to change in these textbooks? Consider this. After IMPACT's 2020 report, Saudi Arabia in 2021 removed part of a hadith that told the story of a sick Jewish boy being cured after embracing Islam, where after the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ praised Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for saving the boy from Jahannam because of the conversion. In the edit, the textbook omits the conversion completely, as the hadith implied that the boy would have gone to hell simply for being Jewish.
Why would Israel do that? Maybe to give the impression that Muslims hate Jews, maybe?
It's interesting to note that this particular edit was classified by IMPACT as an edit done to Tawheed, which is the single most important tenet of Islam, where belief in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is paramount. Essentially, the edit targets the Islamic belief that salvation cannot be achieved without accepting Islam. Other edits delete ayat and hadith that say that mushrikeen are bound for the hellfire. According to IMPACT, these Islamic texts and standard orthodox teachings are hateful and extreme. IMPACT's attack on Tawheed is only the tip of the proverbial iceberg. Other liberal ideologies such as LGBT doctrine, feminism, and secularism are inserted into the curriculum. After IMPACT's 2019 report to Saudi Arabia, texts which taught that God punishes societies with rampant sexual immorality were scrubbed the following year. Other passages which condemn homosexual behavior according to Islamic orthodoxy were also removed. To make matters worse, Saudi Arabia is not the only Muslim nation that is letting IMPACT change its textbooks. Qatar and the United Arab Emirates have also put the education of their children in the hands of Zionists. At the behest of IMPACT, Qatar no longer defines Zionism in school textbooks as a racist political movement, but rather describes it as just another political movement wherein the goal is to create a Jewish state in Palestine. Israel's racist and genocidal policies are no longer included. For the UAE, IMPACT boasts that they push pro-liberal progressive material such as rethinking traditional Islamic gender roles in order to achieve equality between the sexes. According to IMPACT's secular ideology, women and men should be equal in, quote, all fields of life, including education, representation in politics, economy, and decision-making processes.
This is exactly what Daniel is studied in. Daniel literally does this to push back against the agenda against the Muslims. If Daniel is successful, then even the non-Muslims who believe in a more conservative way of life would also benefit from, Daniel pushing back against these people who come up with these sorts of things, right? Men and women are not equal. We are built different. However, we are the same when it comes to piety, right? We should all know this, and no one should feel upset. Oh, well, he's a man and I'm a woman. This is ridiculous. Allah did not create us like this, right? To be these types of people. I would really, really love it for people to just stop calling Daniel names. He's alt-right imam and he's this and he's that. Why not just contact Daniel and just speak with him, right? Ask him for his references. Hey, man, why do you understand this like this, right? And then maybe he can explain it to you, and maybe you can go back and forth. But this stuff gotta end, man, right? Like, Daniel is trying his best to preserve the Islamic traditions, right? I mean, it's what we are commanded to do. Come on, guys. Let's keep watching.
This is, of course, completely contrary to traditional gender norms as found in Islam. Beyond pushing liberalism and secularism, there are other extremely disturbing changes to the textbooks. Some of the content pushes Muslim youth to support Israel and not see it as a cruel occupying force. Why is this Zionist group so determined to infiltrate Islamic education outside of Israel? Could it be that Israel has a vested interest in Islamic curricula because it has, quote, a power far greater than any form of media, including social media, as Mark Yeshef himself admits? Is it possible that countries like Saudi Arabia, Qatar, and the UAE, in the recent normalization of ties with Israel, are letting the apartheid state dictate what is presented in school curricula to destroy the next generation of Muslims? This seems to be the case because the content that was removed was done in a way so that seeds of doubt would attack the iman of Muslim youth by replacing Islam with liberal and secular doctrines. Israel's recent push to normalize ties by using interfaith initiatives, treaties like the Abrahamic Accords, and educational reform in Muslim lands is a strategic ploy to help cripple Muslims and
that guy right there, Benjamin Netanyahu, this guy, he's a piece of crap. These people are Zionists, man. They don't believe. They are what Allah would call in the Quran the munafiqun, right? These people are the biggest hypocrites, unbelievers. They wanting to have, Palestine has nothing to do with the Torah or, Moses and things like this. I'll even quote something from the Bible. When Jesus was having a discussion with the Pharisees, it got a little heated. And Jesus said to them, if you would have believed Moses, then you would have believed me because he wrote about me. But because you don't believe in Moses, how can you believe what I say? Jesus literally called them hypocrites. On the outside, they looked very pious and upright men, right? But Jesus knew that they weren't like this, that they were hypocrites, liars, cheaters. They loved the status, the money, the power, the respect that came with being a Pharisee, a Sadducee, or scribes and things like this, a high priest. Jesus called them out for this. Let's keep watching.
destroy the fabric of Islamic society. And why are these concessions one-sided? While Muslim countries are bending backwards to appease Israel, does Israel reciprocate when it comes to the genocidal policies used against Palestinians? The Ummah should have an issue with governments, imams, and celebrity Dawah figures supporting initiatives that help normalize ties with Israel, especially when their Muslim brothers and sisters are being killed by the Zionist regime.
Absolutely. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala free the brothers and sisters all around the world who are being oppressed by their governments. Ameen.
Regime day after day. While Israel plans to erase Islam from the hearts of Muslims, Allah is always the best of planners. May Allah help us keep our iman strong and fight against those that oppress the Ummah. Ameen.
Ameen. Ameen. Ameen. So, guys, please go over to Daniel Hakikachu's channel, the Muslim Skeptic, inshallah. Give the brother a subscribe, please. These are the type of people that we need to be subscribing to, because he is literally pushing back against this agenda. Right? Do your part, inshallah. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala increase us in taqwa. May he protect us. May he allow us to die as Muslims. And may he grant us the highest parts of Jannah. Ameen, ameen, ameen. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.